Whoa. He's got an LRM-20 as well, which is big trouble. Can we leg the guy? Hello friends, thanks very much for joining me, and welcome to something I'm trying for the first time, trying something new, which is MechWarrior 3 Hardcore Mode. It's a pretty lame name, but that's the best I've got. MechWarrior 3, it's a game that I love, and it's a game that is, in my opinion, really, really immersive, and one of the best examples of Battletech and MechWarrior, at least for its lore, its story, its universe, and I love it for that. Now, if you've seen my channel, you've seen me doing a lot of speed runs, and in speed running you miss all of those details, so I wanted to take the time to do a playthrough properly, and want to highlight the story, I want to highlight the voice acting, I want to highlight all of the cool details that they put into it, because that is a huge part of the game for me. And I also then wanted to put a little bit of a spin on it, which is to try and make it more immersive and more lore accurate. So there's a few things that we're going to be doing a little bit differently to how the game might have been set up. Things like repairs, things like stock loadouts. I don't want to be cheesing it. I don't want to be using the exploits that I've had, that I make use of in all my speed runs. I want to be keeping it as realistic as possible. One, because it's a bit of a challenge. Two, because that might make it as authentic as possible. That's the idea. And three, because it's a bit of fun, right? So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, for this playthrough, we're going to be actually immersing ourselves within MechWarrior 3. I'm really excited about it because I haven't done this for 20 years. So thanks for joining me. Let's get stuck into it.
In the year 3058, the warring factions of the Inner Sphere band together to execute the complete annihilation of Clan Smoke Jaguar. Within 2 years, the Smoke Jaguar have been routed. By 3060, the Smoke Jaguar homeworld of Huntress is officially declared neutralized, and the Star League Defense Forces immediately moved against the clan space capital world of Stranomacti. However, Galaxy Commander Brendan Corbett, the ranking Smoke Jaguar officer, is still at large. Corbett has been located on the world of Tranquil. He is fortifying his position and has called for remaining Jaguar forces to rally to him. Intel has designed a commando operation codenamed Damocles to execute a quick strike, neutralizing resource centers and exiting before Corbett can coordinate a counterattack. Our probes have uncovered a network of support facilities on this peninsula, which are Damocles' primary objectives. We predict only a modest opposition from garrison-quality warriors. Insertion will be made via drop pods from low orbit. The dropships Black Hammer and Eclipse will disperse 6 single-lance commando teams throughout the region, along with support vehicles for field repairs and modifications. Damocles 1 will recon this operations area, destroying targets of opportunity and then staging a raid against a mech production facility located here. Damocles 2 and 3 will be dropped into the second operations area, targeting a hydroelectric plant and an underground manufacturing facility. Damocles 4 through 6 will conduct search and destroy operations in this area against training facilities, military outposts, and this urban area. All units will rendezvous here, at the spaceport. Extraction by dropship will follow successful completion of all operations.
I love that this isn't just an intro, it's actually our briefing for the campaign we're about to get into. Love it.
Power curve optimal. Drop
So this is us dropping now on this mission.
Landing coordinates confirmed. Drop sequence commencing.
Here we go.
Damocles 1 and support vehicles deployed. Testing recon probe. Video image. Optimal clarity.
Energy spike on the planet's surface. That indicates large... What the hell was that? Can't get a reading on this equipment.
Can you confirm mech pod deployment?
Mayday, mayday. We're going down.
Communications reestablished.
What are we looking at? Can somebody redirect the probe?
Sir, I have Damocles 1-2 on the left. Damn. Sir, Damocles 4 is breaking up.
Damn. Damocles 1, please stand by.
That's us. We are Damocles 1.
Damocles 1. This is Captain Taylor of the Eclipse. We have lost contact with dropship Blackhammer and its commandos. Eclipse is abandoning its run. Data feed from probe indicates you are dropping on target. We will ascertain your situation and the current threat level as soon as possible. Eclipse out.
I said get me online. I'll worry about the others later.
Love the panic.
Fine. Now bring up Area 1. Lance Leader, this is your mobile field base. The status of the Black Hammer is still uncertain. You are falling on target, but I've yet to raise your lance mates or any members of Teams 2 and 3. The intel rep for this mission was aboard the dropship, so we'll have to use canned data from an early probe flight. From our proposed landing site, here, we are to make our way west, neutralize the heavy missile platforms which control the lower valley, and then turn north following the river. This island facility is our final objective. The mech production site looks active, and the lack of strong military forces suggests an easy target. This operation is to be performed in 4 tactical sub-ops, indicated here. Oh, wait one. New data coming through. You sure that's all we have? Alright, give me the tech map. Lance Leader, our probe data is extremely out of date. However, you're falling slightly off target. We predict a shallow water splashdown north of this fishing village. In order to get to the beach, vehicles have to use this bridge. It's protected by these fixed missile emplacements. OpPoint Able designates a clan communications facility as your first target. Freeze video. These emplacements have to be eliminated. OpPoint Baker is the programmed landing target of the mobile field base. We'll wait for you there. Cut the feed. Objectives. Neutralize communication center at OpPoint Able. Rendezvous with mobile field base at OpPoint Baker. Look out for these SRM emplacements. Mobile threats should consist of light mechs and some vehicles. Good luck, Lance Leader.
So, here we are. Things have gone horribly wrong, as is the case. And there's a bit of making it up as we go. I love the way that the whole setup of the campaign, the whole setup of this game is built around a realistic military style operation, and that's what we're trying to recreate here. I love that this first set, this first introduction to the game, we're on our own. We're supposed to be part of a lance, so with 3 other mechs, but we've been separated, and we'll have to work our way through and try and clear this operations area. So let's get started.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
So it's a pretty simple mission to begin with. Need to link up with our MFBs, our support vehicles.
We're down on target, awaiting rendezvous.
So they've just told us that they've landed.
All units come in. We've got movement all around our location. Don't waste any time getting here.
Can you hear them figuring out what's going on? Because of course this is not part of the plan. So this was supposed to be one big operation with 4 mechs involved, but just us for the moment. We're going to stay in the water to try and keep cool. Because this bushwhacker is pretty toasty.
Blackhammer, Damocles, please respond.
Falling explosives. Mech power-up detected. Parking it on the bridge.
Did you get that? Laborer frequencies, but definitely something about explosive charges. Watch your step, Lance Leader.
So the other thing as well is that those radio communications we were hearing,
Targeting.
laborer frequencies, they said, and you can hear it wasn't very clear.
Explosives. We missed that one, sorry.
What the game does, just a cool little detail that they did in this
We are proceeding on
mission. I'm not firing very well. Is you're not going to be able to just hear the enemy talking. That does it. AC-10 is really our go-to weapon at in these early stages, especially against enemy mechs. There he is, he's down. Watch out for these turrets. Just the two of them, and that will be our objectives completed. Oh no, the tower still.
Primary objective complete.
Right, now... our objective here, take out the communication center. That's this big satellite dish on the top of this building. How's the detail, right? Like, yes, it's an old game, yes, the graphics are dated, but I think it still looks fantastic.
Primary objective complete.
Sounds like the local net is down.
Love it. Right, now, the other thing I wanted to do on this playthrough is just to highlight some of the detail and the way that the way the game is built. So this is our first mission. We're just about at the end of it, and as we look around, this is the environment that we're in. We're going to join our mobile field base down here where they have landed.
Mission successful.
There we go. Job done.
Good to see you, Lance Leader.
Good to see you guys too. So here's where they are, and as we look around, we've got those turrets where they were on the right and the left. Here's the communications, and we'll finish the mission.
No determination on the status of dropship Blackhammer. We assume it is down. Act in accordance with mission specifications until we devise a rescue plan.
That was Captain Taylor's official response to my request for information. Our extraction is an unknown factor at this time. We have recovered codes from the communications facility objective that allowed us to break clan radio encryption. You will receive a direct feed of clan intentions. Finally, Dominic Gunner Payne deployed successfully and has moved into position to keep clan forces pinned in place. We will rendezvous with him as planned at the mech factory.
Alright, so we know we've got a friend out there somewhere, but that little detail I like. Of course, in video games, having or hearing the enemy, that's part of it, that's part of the fun, but just that little detail of, well, the first thing we did was attack a communication station and we got their radio codes. So just that little bit of justification as to why we're able to hear the enemy, I really appreciate that sort of thing. Alright, mission 2.
To set up our River Valley run, we first have to gain access to this plateau. Roll probe data. There's some construction going on here. The MFB will investigate after you've cleared the area. This barracks facility is off Point Able. We're counting on getting some significant salvage. Just past this lake is the major threat in this area. This is a heavy missile platform, and it sits right where we need to be. Back to overview. Objective Able, Objective Baker. The missile platform has a range well beyond the barracks area. Terrain analysis has found a blind spot in the coverage to the south. Expect moderate mech resistance, especially at the approaches to the missile platform.
Okay, salvage is important for us, but going to be doing things a little bit differently when it comes to our mech selection and loadouts. Now, I did say we're going to be using stock mechs, but for this first operation, I do need to do something a little bit different. This is probably my only mulligan, if you will, is I'm going to say that as the Lance leader, I probably had some privileges. I'll swap those machine guns out for some extra AC-10 ammo. I'll say that that's what I would have done before the drop anyway. But part of why I don't want to be doing crazy mech customization is to try and keep it more authentic, more realistic. We're dropping into this mission, or we're starting this mission immediately following on from the last, and that's the case for this whole campaign. There's no time to be ripping out engines, swapping internals, going crazy with the builds that we're doing, the pressure's on. We've just landed. We've got to meet up with our buddies, and we've got to get this all completed before it goes even worse. So let's see how that turns out.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
And you can see what I mean. We are right where we left off before, in exactly the same place, exactly the same environment. It's just continuing on. Those were the turrets. There's the communications, and
Targeting.
there's a couple of clanners come to check out what's going on. So in my head, we've just shown up, made a bit of a mess of things,
Medium weight battle engaging.
Good hunting, Sipkin.
and now they've come to check it out. Because that's what would happen, isn't it? This is all one big area. And the way that they designed it, to me, feels like this is the response to the damage we just did. Communication center just got taken out. We lost contact with some turrets and the likes. So we better go and see what's happening. There we go. Alright, onwards. We're going to continue on down to our objective at Op Able. So yeah, this is all linked together. We could continue back down to the previous mission area if we wanted to. All one big environment, and I love that. Now we know from the briefing that there is a heavy missile platform up this way. That's our objective up at Baker, the little yellow circle on the map. So we're going to try and avoid that. Actually, we'll deal with that problem first. So we're going to head straight for that turret. We'll try and ignore these guys. They're not worth trouble at the moment. That turret is
This is Gunner.
far more damaging.
Forward to next mission area.
Gunner, we see heavy increase in comms chatter originating south-southwest. Can you confirm?
North is mine.
Gunner.
Alright, so that's one of our lance mates that was just on the comms for us. So he is moving on
Reports indicate
with
at
the
least
mission.
one more enemy unit in the area. Alert the Star Colonel. Baker, South Coast projects are in
The
danger.
thing with this platform is it's very easy to get within its blind spots. Now we've got a couple of tanks to deal with. We'll put these guys down.
Core meltdown imminent.
And a Strider as well. And we need to get in the water, we're just too hot otherwise.
Detected.
Now mech combat is pretty basic at the moment. That's because we are in a 55-ton mech against mechs that are much smaller than us. It's not going to stay like that for the whole playthrough, I can guarantee it.
Units. We have reports of enemy flanking. Hold positions. Engage only on direct line of sight.
Sounds like Gunner's still on the job. That buys us time.
So this is what I want to try and capture. That radio message, that's what we're getting from areas we haven't reached yet. Oop, don't all trip over each other. We've got a lot happening in this area. Oh, I thought I ran over you. And the clanners are trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Back in the water to cool down. Last one. And we'll capture this barracks area.
Primary objective complete.
Job done. They didn't need to make it look this pretty, but they did. So we've now got just the last missile platform to deal with. There's this one tank here, and there's actually 2 others down a bit further. We'll see if they decide to join us or not. Don't actually need to destroy them, but we'll see. What I would have... There we go. Nothing like running things over. Something I would love to see, I don't think it's possible, but I wish that these areas could be actually linked together as one big mission.
Secondary objective complete.
So that it was just continual. And let's say if you left some enemies alive in one mission, that they joined you, or that they then turned up in the next. I think that would be really cool. I'm all about immersion. I feel like that's what a game, any game, should be trying to achieve, is to immerse the player in that environment, in that universe. And for me, this is one of the best examples of a Battletech game doing that.
Mission successful.
So there we go. So once again, this is where we're heading next.
Good job, Lance Leader. We found a couple of dismantled warship-class assault lasers at that construction site. Too bad we can't use them. Survivors of Damocles 2 have made contact. They're attacking the hydroelectric dam in Operations Area 2. Also, Captain Taylor has set the Eclipse down well north of us. They're trying to break through, find a place to rendezvous, and pull us out of here.
So yeah, that is mission 2 complete. And in that briefing, hearing about, obviously we know that Dominic Payne has moved to another area, and then talking about the hydroelectric dam. That's something we're going to come into in Operations 2. And then also the other dropship, which has set down on the planet, and they're starting their own operation. So there's all of these things happening all at the same time. It's not just, we're not alone here. We're the only player, we're the only mech in these missions at the moment, but there's other things happening elsewhere, and that all has an impact on this story, all has an impact on this campaign.
All right, Lance Leader. We are here. We need to be there. Bring up probe data. These facilities guard the bridge which we consider our best route across the river. Freeze data. This, my friends, is an annihilator, an assault mech, but this data is old. Run data. Keep a sharp lookout. We'll rendezvous here. Operation points are set as shown. You have to tell us when it's safe to move. We'll wait for your call. Dominic Payne is going to be waiting for us, so we don't have much time. We'll move through the valley on your orders and rendezvous here. We estimate that fixed emplacements cover this area. Expect much heavier mech resistance. They know we're here.
Just get our salvage out of the way. Going to be grabbing most things, but we'll see where that goes later on. Probably going to ditch a fair bit as we go, but we'll see what builds we end up with. All right, mission 3.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
And yeah, Hunter, normal difficulty. I didn't want to be, like I said, grindy. I didn't want to make it
Mech
grindy.
power-up detected.
This is supposed to be a challenge,
Position. Enemy unaware.
but in a certain way, not just making it silly. All right, so we've got this Firefly to deal with. Firefly can't torso twist, so it's actually pretty easy to get behind him. I'll say I'm not specifically targeting legs,
Meltdown imminent. Shutting down.
but sometimes it's just too hard to ignore. Now we'll let ourselves cool off a little bit here. So yeah, as you can see, this is, once again, exactly where we left off. These are the missile platforms that we destroyed in the last mission, and same story, the forces in this next area. It's all one big area, and everyone is responding on. Leg 'em all, says Mike. Yeah, it's a bit like that. Now this is a cool little area. Just a tunnel. Love the wind noise. You didn't have to do that, but they did. And if we go to this end of it, this platform looks out over the mission that we were just in. And we can actually see this platform and this door in that previous mission. Just little things. Little things that that I really like seeing. Now, because of how hot this build is, we're going to go and get in the water to deal with these guys. Where's that bulldog? He's just around the corner. There you are.
Power detected. Targeting.
There we go. And we've got a strider that's joining us. So we'll put this guy down.
Star Captain. I am pulling warriors from the plains. We will cut off their retreat. Launch detected.
So he's got leg damage already. And his job done. Now, other thing with that, just little things. So this guy spawned up here, or was up on this hill. And if we go and take a look up on this hill, once again, same story. That's the area that we were just in. So in my head, I think about the way that you would set up an area, and you'd have Strider being a scout mech. He's probably come over here to have a look at what's happening. He's got an overview of that whole area that we were just in. Because of course the missions that we're doing, they are more than just, they're not just battle arenas. That barracks area was where you would have warriors and other members of the clan residing. Same here, we've got a couple of buildings that we need to take care of. We'll put that turret down. Turrets are actually quite annoying. There's another one over here which we'll find.
Targeting.
And same story, there's Commander Freya. So, Commander Freya is overseeing this area, and she's come down to take care of things herself. So she's in a bushwhacker as well, same as us, which is, I think, a really cool little bit of...
Let's see how good this Surat truly is.
Cool little bit of game design. Early on in the game, putting you up against someone in the exact same equipment as you, that's smart. That's well designed. Hey Blondie, glad you could make it. Hope you're enjoying it. Change of pace from the speedruns. We're just so hot. Definitely need to stay moving. Accuracy is a bit of a challenge for not just us, but for the enemies as well. That was the AC-10 arm gone, so that should make her a bit easier to deal with. Come on. And she's done.
Careless fool. Nice work, Captain.
Alright, there we go. And so you could hear over the radio, careless fool. The clanners love their command structures. They love their rankings and hierarchies. And so Commander Freya, who was supposed to be taking care of this area, failed at her job, and
Waiting for rendezvous coordinates.
Clan Command does not appreciate that.
Roger that, Lance Leader. Transfer
just sending our MFBs on to their objective because they've got a bit of a drive ahead of them, so we'll get that out of the way so we don't have to wait too long. Still need to take care of these guys. I didn't need that laser shot. And where's this bulldog tank?
Secondary objective complete.
There we go. Now we have our objective buildings, and we'll be out of here. Out of AC-10 ammo, but that's alright. I'm not too concerned about ammo at the moment because we have plenty of ammo for the AC-10 and for our LRMs. But as this playthrough goes on, things are going to get tight. And we are going to be challenged by resources and supply. Alright, last set of buildings. They really did put a lot of attention into their explosion noises, didn't they? I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Job well done, guys. And it is pretty too. All those effects. Proving you can do a lot with a little. So the MFBs are on their way to their objective, which is this nav point over here. But the last little thing I wanted to look at in this mission, once again just showcasing what I think is cool little details of immersion. Doesn't really mean much. You need to use your imagination a little bit, but I think that's fair. So Commander Freya in that bushwhacker, she was up on this little section is where she started out, which once again, think about a commander overseeing an area. Where's she going to be? She's going to be on the high ground, having a clear view over the whole area that she's responsible for. So there's the buildings, the east buildings. Here's the river. There's the bridge, and then
Mission successful.
up further north once again. This is where we're going.
The enemy is advancing on your position. Must I do everything personally? All units regroup. Protect the project at all costs. I will hold Osis's precious stage site.
Too late now.
So there we go. That's the next little bit of it. Moving forward in the next area, they know that we've broken through, and
We have arrived and are ready to deploy.
in true clan-like fashion, someone claiming that they'll hold a site till the end.
Bad news, Lance Leader. The mechs sent to destroy the dam were eliminated after they succeeded in their mission. However, a field operative discovered a previously unknown underground site. The forces to the north are stalled in their attempt to rendezvous with us. Galaxy Commander Corbett is apparently leading a frontline trinary against them. That's all we have for now.
Right, so we've lost a couple of allies. That was Team 2. We're going to move into their area in the next operation. But Galaxy Commander Corbett, that's a name that we'll be hearing a lot more of during this playthrough. He is not just the leading officer in this area, but he is the highest ranked Smoke Jaguar warrior out of the entire clan at this point. So we will be definitely hearing more about Galaxy Commander Corbett.
Roll fly-through sequence. Your first stop point is in the center of these facilities. Freeze video. These greenhouses are used exclusively by the clan military forces. Deny them their use. On this island are the power generators. Run video. Sensors indicate the power output is unusually low to run such a large facility. Watch this. Now we know what caused the destruction of the Black Hammer. Rewind to just before the destruction. Freeze. These are warship-class lasers, just like we found in the lower valley. They're mounted on a simple tower platform. Here are your op points. Expect heavy mech resistance. Fixed emplacements cover these areas. Payne will move in soon as you begin your run. We'll stand by for orders. Mobile field base out.
So this is it, the end of Operation 1. We're going to grab a couple of mechs, a couple of goodies here, although we may not end up needing them. And then we'll finish the job. Now, one last thing that I am going to do, as we've seen, the Bushwhacker is very, very toasty. They actually made a mistake with the Bushwhacker with MechWarrior 3. 11 single heat sinks. The Bushwhacker is a double heat sink design. And if you've ever played MechWarrior 3 and you've wondered, or you've thought to yourself that this mech is just ridiculous in terms of its heat management, it was never supposed to be. It's supposed to have 11 double heat sinks. But for whatever reason, in this game, they stuck it with singles. They fixed it in Pirate's Moon. In the expansion pack of MechWarrior 3 Pirate's Moon, it does have the 11 double heat sinks. So I think that's a little detail that they missed. And I'm just going to patch that one up whilst we're here, now that we actually have a double heatsink to use. But as I said, we're not going to be doing much in the way of mech customization at all. This playthrough is going to be about making use of what we've got. So, here we go. We've got some buildings to destroy, some turrets to destroy. We're going to have a lance mate joining us, and we'll fight our way through to the end.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Once again, that's where we were at the end of the previous mission. All links together, and we're straight on into it. This is part of the immersion that I'm talking about. I don't think it's realistic to be sitting there pulling mechs to pieces. We're going straight into the next mission.
Targeting.
Because there's mechs here, and we've got to deal with them. They're not waiting for us. First target is a Black Hawk. Or a Nova, if you prefer. That's a Nova B configuration. So he's got an AC5, or an Ultra AC5 I should say, and a large pulse laser from memory. Now, the Black Hawk in this does not have a torso twist, so we're going to try and take advantage of that. And he's got big, big, big legs, which are very easy to hit. Just like that, job done.
Targeting. Mech power-up detected.
The Black Hawk is a bit of an interesting one in this game, where it should be scarier than it is, but I think it's really, really hampered by that lack of torso twist. Hello, James. 20 years ago, yeah. Same boat as you, my friend. And how cool is that, right? Like, I hadn't played MechWarrior 3 for maybe 20 years until about 12 months ago I decided to, well, I want to have a look at it and get back into it. It's a game I loved when I was young and still love it today. Right, let's get our objectives done. We've got these buildings to destroy. Don't want to burn too much ammo, but I also don't want to be just standing here with my with my large laser overheating all the time. So we'll finish the job on these buildings and we'll then make our way north. These turrets. James and Pi, both of you, I agree completely. This, for me, MechWarrior 3 was the peak. Was the peak of the series in terms of immersion and the experience that it delivered. Now, I know a lot of people love MechWarrior 4. I've obviously played it too and had a great time with it, and it is a very fun game. But I think that MechWarrior 3 does a better job of immersing me in this universe. And when I was playing... MechWarrior 2 was the first one for me, but when I was playing these games, the part that captured me was the universe, was the story, the briefings, like you say, James. Love that. Didn't have to do any of that. But it's so good. The briefings, Mike, you've nailed it. The briefings are awesome. It creates an atmosphere, it creates a feeling. And that's what I'm trying to recreate, trying to really capture in this playthrough. We're gonna be struggling. We're going to be struggling on a hostile planet, scrounging for resources all alone. Things are going to get a lot trickier from here. And Pi, yes, absolutely. Where's the MechWarrior game that is like the intro videos? This is the closest that we've got for sure, but that's what I've always wanted. Now, these guys probably should have learned how bridges work, because they're in very deep water. And you're kind of stuck there, guys. Oh, that was a miss. We can't really afford that. Yeah, here is our Shadowcat friend, Dominic Payne.
All right, where's the captain?
He's a bit of a character. Might say a little bit of a complainer, but it works. It adds character. He feels like a person and less like a cartoon character, which I appreciate. Love that Gauss rifle. And yeah, James, the voice actor, especially for the briefing guy, the MFB guy. He's fantastic. And I think he was actually one of the producers of the game as well, one of the designers, which just shows the passion that's involved, right? Like, that guy's decided to run off. So we'll worry about that Owens later, but here it is. If you played this game, you know how Op 4 goes, which is, we've got this Orion waiting for us at the end. 75 tons, by far the biggest mech that we have faced to this point, and bigger than us, of course. We're in a 55-ton bushwhacker, and we're about to face our first heavy mech. That was a common thing in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, that makes sense. Perfect Dark. Yeah, okay, yeah. I never actually got to play Perfect Dark, but GoldenEye I played a lot of, and you could tell that the people making these games, you can tell the guy that making this game loves Battletech and loves MechWarrior. Star Wars, same story. Star Wars games of the 90s, that was a big thing. Now Mike says we have to leg the Orion. We're going to try, but at first thing we're going to do is just soften him up at range. We've got LRMs, we're going to use them. He's got LRMs as well, we're going to try and avoid them. But I don't want to get too close. Is that going to fly over? No, miss. Because we've got to fight to our strengths. We've got to fight to our strengths. And right now, we've got the position, but we're about to run out of LRM ammo. Oh yeah, don't worry Mike, I definitely died to this Orion. Many times back in the day. Now where's our landsmate gone? Oh, he's stuck on the bridge. Sorry, I'm just going to teach Dominic Payne how to use bridges, and then we will go head to head with this Orion. Come on buddy, this way. Yeah, this way. The
Targeting.
AI unfortunately doesn't have the best of pathfinding. There we go. Alright, he's with us, so let's do it. Hunter says in the novel, Sinclair, that's our character, actually salvages the Orion and uses it through the campaign. That novel is really cool. I have read it once before. And, you know, actually let's destroy these buildings because our lance mates get too distracted by objective buildings. And I don't want that. I want him to help in the fight. There we go. Don't shoot the bridge. Alright. You ready to fight now? Let's do it. Too bad there isn't a MechWarrior 3 Mercenaries. Absolutely agree. I think that MechWarrior 4 coming so soon after kind of meant that we missed out on more. Whoa. He's got an LRM-20 as well, which is big trouble. Can we leg the guy? Maybe. We'll give it a go. Gonna ignore the Owens. Ooh, that hurts. Come on. Don't want to stand in front of him. Yes! Haha, job done. There we go. Out of ammo. That was it. No more AC-10. Just an Owens left. And that should be him done. We made it. We took a bit of damage. But we're still here. I'm happy with that. Made it through. Our lance mate helping us out. Lance mates, they do a bit when they feel like it. Any minute now. Oh, you shut down, that's why. There we go. That's Operation 1.
Before we move out, you'll have to decide on salvage. Meanwhile, we've intercepted a private channel between Star Colonel Ratosh Osis and his aide. Stand by for playback.
Smashed, Dre. The entire facility. Without those greenhouses, we'll be hard-pressed to feed the incoming forces.
You warned him about placing the site so near our hydroponics project.
I did. But will Brendan Corbett take the blame for this?
Nay, Star Colonel. With Lincoln Osis' death on Strana Mekti, the Galaxy Commander will be our next Khan. He can do no wrong.
Exactly. I will make these Surats pay for this. I promise.
You catch that, Lance Leader? Lincoln Osis, Ilkhan of the clans, died on Strana Mekti. The Star League must be victorious. But I don't expect we'll be relieved anytime soon.
So there we go. Lincoln Osis, Ilkhan of the clans, dead. Because, of course, this mission that we're on takes place whilst other things are happening in the Battletech universe, which, of course, it's a really big universe. There's a lot going on. That was Ratosh Osis, who is second in command. And he's obviously invested in what's happening. And then Brendan Corbett, as we said, highest ranking Smoke Jaguar, and we will be hearing a lot more from him We did not salvage that Orion, unfortunately. Blackhawk, Owens, and Shadowcat, that's what will be coming with us. But that's okay. Luck of the draw sometimes. Legging does increase the chance of salvaging, but it's not always a guarantee. But yeah, James knows there's an Annihilator coming. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, all a bit of fun. Well, that's Operation 1. I'm going to call it there and say that's a job well done. But I'm going to be coming back to this. This is the new playthrough idea. This is what we're going to be doing. Robbing us from the grave. Yes, Mike. Clan of Deceit. Can't escape it. But I'm going to try and stick to this time zone as well. So this is Saturday morning for me. It'll either be Saturday morning or Sunday morning for me that I'll try and keep this up. Because obviously I've got a lot of friends. A lot of you guys, all my friends in other time zones where this might be a little more suitable. Friday evening, 7:30 in Texas. Love it. We'll try and stick to that. So Friday or Saturday evening next week. Keep an eye out for that. We'll be back. We'll head into Operation 2. Things are going to get a bit spicier from there. Well, thanks very much for joining. Thanks a lot for chatting, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone's doing well. So keep an eye out for the next one. But until then, bye for now.